Yo, Dan Larson here, welcome to the newest episode of Letsynthesize. And in this video I don't want to show you an exact sound, I would like to show you a method or an idea in Serum instead, what I just figured out this week, and I find it pretty exciting and inspirational for me at least, because as you may know, I like to use junk sounds or found sounds and drop it into Serum, or just, you know, browse my library here and drop in some kind of bass sounds or anything like that and try to tweak them. And when I use this, I mean, I drop in a loop, a bass loop or a bass one shot, which has some movement and modulation and improvement in the sound in the wavetable itself. I find it a little tricky to make it sound well when you play it on the keyboard. Let me show you what I mean. It's the same effect what you get when you use where are plugins? When you use a sampler. So on the exact note, what the bass sample, or it doesn't need to be only a bass sample. So any kind of sample is recorded. It sounds good on that note, maybe one or maximum two notes higher and lower. But when you go up more, for example, an octave or 2 octaves, the sound gets very unnatural. And this has some reasons what I can't explain now, it would last too long. But anyway, when I try to achieve a great sound in Serum, it just makes it so hard. The same effect goes when you use a sampler. So for example, I have this stuff here. It's a trap lead, what I cut out from a song. And it sounds great on, I believe it's on F0 maybe, or F1, I don't remember well. So I just dropped it in. Let's create morph tables and make a movement on the wavetable. 1 bar. Yeah, this is the original note, it's F1. It sounds great, but when you go up 1 octave higher, it's just very chirpy, or I don't know how to call it. It just goes very unnatural. And I like the sound 1 octave higher when I use asymmetric minus. Or maybe plus. Yes, asymmetric minus, because the sound, well, it doesn't turn into a kind of chipmunk sound, or really, I don't know how to call it, but you can hear the difference. Now it is cool on 1 octave higher, but when I go back, this sound turns into a sound what I don't like. I like the original one. So I would like to use this sound like this on F1, but when I go up to F2, I would like to use it properly pushed up the asymmetric knob. And I'm sure you know that there is a note modulation here, modulator, which is a key tracker. It just, you know, tracks the keys on your keyboard, what you pushed, and it tries to, you know, match the values what you put on with your notes. Now this is very cool, but if you watch this little green arrow here, well, it's 2 arrows or XY dimension lines, I don't know what is that exactly. It writes very easily read the value of it. But the problem is when I go 1 octave higher, it doesn't move too much. So if I apply it, you can see this little knob is here. And when I go up 1 octave high, it barely moves. So it moved very, very little amount. And what I figured out, and especially the problem is when I push F1, sorry, it's not on 0 value. I want it to be on value 0. Okay, so the reason, I mean, the goal is to have a full cycle or a full round of modulation. When I push F0, I want it to you know, the asymmetric warp mode be on 0, and when I push F2, so 1 octave higher, I want it to be on the maximum value. So this cannot be done if you leave this line here untouched. So what I figured out is double click like if it was an LFO and pull it back down till your freshly created point or dot meets with this green arrow, green knob basically. So this will be our starting point, and go up 1 octave higher. What you want to have your maximum value, for example, it can be 1 more octave higher, it doesn't really matter, but I just want to use it F2 now. Make another knob and measure the maximum value of the green knob or green dot with it. Okay, so what we just created, watch this little knob here, this dot here. As you can hear, it is totally on 0 value now when I push F1. I tried to climb up on the keyboard and watch this little green dot. It beautifully walks on the full range of the asymmetric minus knob. Of course, it has some side effects, which is about the highs, but we can fix it using the same method. So what I want to do is when I go higher, I want to filter a little out of the highs, but when I am on the low, on F1, I don't want it to be filtered. This way, adding some glide, it will sound a lot more natural and more trappy. For me, for my ears, it sounds a lot more natural than without the asymmetric stuff. You can clearly hear it's a sample, untouched sample. But if you apply this asymmetric knob with this key tracking trick, so it's some beautiful movement on the keyboard, it's some beautiful modulation. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you created some cool sounds using this method, this little trick, please show me, drop a comment on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere else. Maybe you can shoot an email, of course, if you want. I'm pretty curious what you came up with this idea. So this was today's Let's Synthesize, and see you next week, guys. Bye bye.